Now, the key issues in the current constitution. Number one, and we all know these issues that are transparent to everyone or every people or every Filipino is corruption and lack of transparencies. Despite the creation of independent bodies like the Ombudsman and the Commission on Audit, corruption remains prevalent across different government levels. Weak enforcement. Corrupt officials often evade accountability due to weak enforcement of anti-corruption laws and the influence of powerful political networks. Insufficient whistleblower protection. There are limited mechanisms to protect individuals who expose corruption, discouraging people from coming forward. Now, as we all know, many of the senators, mahirap na mag-drop name ganun, syempre. Pero marami tayong mga government officials are being corrupt and taking the taxes of the people. Even the pinakamababa na, yung sa mga traffic enforcers, yung pangungutong or paglalagay or pagbibigay is one of the corrupt and lack of transparencies that an issue in this constitution. Next. Number two issues of the current constitution, electoral flaws. The constitution provides a democratic electoral system, but issues such as vote buying, electoral violence, and the entrenchment of political dynasties continue to undermine the integrity of elections. Lack of voter education. Many voters lack access to unbiased information about candidates, leading to uninformed, sorry for the term, uninformed voting decisions influenced by money or media manipulation. Oversight gaps. Regula- Excuse me. Regulatory agencies overseeing elections like the Commission on Election or COMELEC face challenges in monitoring and preventing these widespread issues effectively. Now, as stated in the presentation, marami yung mga uneducated or yung mga hindi nakapag-aral or walang chance para makapag-aral na manipula sila ng mga pera, mga ganon, and ng media. So it is a disadvantage for the people who doesn't know the truth and who doesn't do research. Kaya nagkakaroon ng pangit na na-elect sa mga government officials. Next. Number three issues of the current constitution. Limited public participation. Although the constitution allows for public engagement through voting and petitions, these mechanisms have limitations. Urban-centric consultations. Public consultations often happen in urban centers, make it difficult for rural and marginalized communities to participate actively in the decision-making process. Weak feedback mechanism. There is a lack of structured platform for citizens to provide feedback or hold their representatives accountable on a regular basis. Next. Wait lang. Nawala sa akin yung PPT. Lang, nawala yung PPT. Yan, okay na. Now, another key issues in the current constitution. Challenges in decentralization. Wait lang, cut mo na lang yun ah. Number four, challenges or issues in the current constitution. Challenges in decentralization and local governance. The Constitution promotes local autonomy, but in practice, local governments unit local government units face constraints that limit their efficiency and impact. Over reliance on national government. LGUs often depends heavily on the central government for funds, reducing their ability to independently implement local development projects. Legislative restriction. LGUs have limited authority to pass impactful laws, make it difficult for them to address issues unique to their communities or quickly respond to emergencies like natural disaster. Example, during calamities, some LGUs struggle to mobilize resources effectively due to delays in the release of funds from the national government. Now, this is the problem in the LGU. They have they don't have the ability to manage the funds because of delayed or lack of funds. So yung mga kailangan na agapan or mga kailangan gawin ng mga LGU sa kanilang communities and cities ay hindi agad nasasagawa. Kaya nagkakaroon ng problema or nagkakaroon ng unfair treatment sa mga Pilipino. Next. Strengthening anti-corruption measures. Current mechanism. Ombudsman and Commission on Audit.
Parang sa akin na ito.
Sa'yo na ba yan? Okay. Sorry.
Uh, uh, Strengthening anti-corruption measures. Current mechanisms. Ombudsman and commissions of audit on audit. Strengthening anti-corruption measures through existing mechanisms like the Ombudsman and the Commissions of Audit or COA can significantly enhance transparency and accountability in the government. Development and implement more sophisticated data analytics on AI-driven systems to identify red flags in government transactions. This would help the Ombudsman track anomalies more efficiently. Introduce real-time audit for high-risk government projects and procurement processes. This would allow COA to detect and prevent anomalies as they happen rather than after the fact. Strengthening the anti-corruption measures, the Ombudsman and the COA can improve transparency by using AI-driven analytics to detect irregularities faster. Real-time auditing of high-risk projects will help catch issues during implementation, preventing corruption. These upgrades shift oversight from reactive to proactive, ensuring better accountability. Next slide. Proposed changes. More autonomy and resources for these bodies. Allow both bodies to have full control over their budget. Allocations without political interference, ensuring they have the necessary funds to operate independently and effectively. Strengthen their authority to investigate and prosecute without the need for external approval, particularly for high-profile cases involving top government officials. Provide them with a larger budget to expand their operations, enabling them to hire more staff, acquiring advanced technology, and establish more regional offices. Invest in continuous training for personnel, especially in using modern investigative and audit tools like AI, data analytics, and blockchain for tracking government funds. Next slide. Mandatory public financial disclosure and enhancement of FOI. Require all public officials from national to local levels to regularly disclose their statements of assets, liabilities, and net worths. These should be made publicly accessible online for transparency. Impose strict penalties, include fines and disqualifications from office for officials who fail to submit or falsely their financial disclosures. Broaden the scope of FOI laws to cover all branches of government, including local government units, LGUs, government-owned corporations, and public-private partnerships. Establish user-friendly digital platforms where citizens can easily request and access government documents such as contracts, project details, and official transactions. Propose changes for autonomy and resources granting the Ombudsman and COA full budget control ensures independence from political interferences. Increased funding will allow them to expand operations, adopt advanced technologies, and open regional offices, strengthening their authority to investigate top officials without approval improves their ability to handle high-profile cases. Next slide.
Electoral electoral reforms. These are some key issues that we have. The first one is vote buying, common during elections, where candidates offer money or goods in exchange for votes, undermining the integrity of the electoral process. Despite having laws, penalties for vote buying are rarely enforced, leading to a culture of impunity among candidates and voters. The second one is the political dynasties. These dominate elections where multiple family members hold or run for elective offices, consolidating and consolidating political power and hindering political diversities. While the Philippine Constitution prohibits political dynasties, there is no enabling law that effectively enforces this provision. The third one is the lack of transparency in the sources of campaign funds and how they are spent, leading to the influence of money in politics and potential corruption. So the first one is vote buying. Candidates commonly offer goods or monies in exchange for votes. And in our current situation, there are laws that are against vote buying, but they are rarely enforced. The second one is the political dynasties. These these dominate elections and they hinder the political diversities. And in our current situation, although the Philippine Constitution prohibits this, the provision is very ineffective. The third one is the lack of transparency. There is insufficient transparency regarding the sources of the campaign funds and their usage, leading to the potential corruption and undue under influence in politics. Next slide, please.